If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. Let me explain. With Anchor, there's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or your computer. Anchor will literally distribute your podcast for you, so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many, many more. You can also make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything that you need to make a podcast in one place. And the best thing about Anchor is, it's all free. So download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Is falling. What's up, y'all? It's your main man, Will, checking in on the track.
What's poppin'? Jordy G. I'm not a DJ. I'm on the ones and twos. Just know that.
And you know who it is, Showtime. Your favorite podcast, a.k.a. Ratchet City Hometown Hero, a.k.a. The People's Champ, a.k.a. Barack. What's up, bro? I hope you're doing well in this crazy world we're living in right now. And we got a special episode today. But I'm going to throw it to Will so he can go ahead and handle that. He the man with the plan, the MC with the plan.
You are now tuned into the I'ma Let You Finish podcast, a collection of three blessed, black, and highly favored young men discussing savory topics, the word on the street, and some social dialogue. Yeah. So, yes, like Matt said, this is a very special episode of I'ma Let You Finish podcast, of course. I have the pleasure of introducing probably my most favorite person of all time, my best brother, all that, man. This man is the GOAT, the greatest of all time, all that. I'm going to let him introduce himself, but I'm going to introduce him just a little bit. But this is my boy, Jalen Clark.
Thank you. That was a great introduction. But I'm not all that, guys. I'm just a guy named Jalen.
Definitely.
Just a guy.
He definitely
man.
not all that.
Facts.
I'm really not. Thank y'all for inviting me on y'all show. I'm really, really honored to be here with y'all tonight. Appreciate y'all, fellas.
All love.
All right, Jalen. For sure. It's all love. So, Jalen, tell the people just a little bit about yourself, what you do, who you are, in relation to all of us.
Once again, y'all, I'm Jalen Clark, from Opelousas, Louisiana. What I do is I'm a full-time entrepreneur. I'm part owner, and part founder of Black Wealth Renaissance. It's a platform me and three other my friends built, teaching financial literacy. And really just highlighting entrepreneurs in the community, highlighting the importance of building wealth, and just really showing people ways that they can get ahead in their financial situations and how they can change their life. In relationship to y'all, I'm Will's line brother, and I am Matt and Jordan's ADP. So we all frat brothers. Hey, we're one big happy family.
Hey.
Oh, shit.
You got the buzzer?
Yeah, he got the buzzer. We need to get that. We need to get a buzzer.
Dude,
Wait. Do the buzzer.
I wasn't supposed to do the buzzer, but
You've been
okay.
All right. So when somebody say something that's factually incorrect or some BS, you gotta pull out the buzzer.
Oh
okay?
no,
Got
we're not
you.
doing that.
All right,
We're
bet.
not doing that.
So Jalen, one last question. You said you are the co-founder of Black Wealth Renaissance. Tell us.
I say a co-founder, yes.
A co-founder, yes, of course. A co-founder out of four members, of course. So tell us why you and your co-founders created Black Wealth Renaissance. Just give us just a little little tidbit. Like, what was the goal, and what do you guys aim to do in the future? Of course.
So honestly, Black Wealth Renaissance started off with David and Jared first off. And they started off where they started a page, but give y'all backstory. David and I are best friends too. So he was always at my house and I was kind of like around while they were working on it and everything. So I just like chime into their conversations and they would be talking about, they our mindset was always different. It's more so from an abundance type of mindset instead of a scarcity, poverty type of mindset. So the conversations that we had, it was just really different. And the reason that they started the page, it was really just an Instagram page, and they just wanted to share the information that we learned from this book called Rich Dad Poor Dad by Robert Kiyosaki. So David ended up giving me the book, and I remember I read that book 2018 whenever I returned home to Lafayette right after I moved back from Dallas. And I would just read the book, and it really just opened up my mind to the ideas and the different things that weren't being taught to me, and just the whole idea behind financial literacy and how making your dollar work for you is very much more smarter than just having a consumer mindset. And once again, we just had these conversations ever since then, and they ended up creating that page October 31st of 2018. And during the beginning process, I wasn't very active in it for the first few months, but right around the new year of 2019, I ended up coming on board on the team, helping with creating some of the content and stuff. But the whole goal of it really was just a passion project to teach the community, our community, Black people, about financial literacy and about the possibilities that, not everyone has to be an athlete. Not everyone has to sell drugs. Not everyone has to rap. Not everyone, you don't have to be a stripper. You don't have to do all of these things that is really glorified in our hood to getting money, to changing your lifestyle and upgrading your lifestyle. So that was really the whole premise behind where we started.
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope. It's a really good thing y'all doing over there at Black Wealth Renaissance, man. Y'all are teaching the Black community financial literacy, and that's really cool. That's really important because a lot of Black people don't know how to spend their money. They don't know how to use their money. They don't know how to grow their money, double it in size, of course. And definitely in the Black community, we've always had like this whole struggle of gaining wealth or gaining like a snowball of wealth throughout generation to generation through generation. It's either we because we didn't really have like a leg up on the competition, of course, as far as other races have. So that brings us to our first topic.
Can I get a question? One question in? Just one. I just want one. I know it's your boy, but I just want to get one question in before we hop in the topic.
Please do your thing.
Okay, so just to talk about your whole project and everything that y'all doing, Jalen, and again, I appreciate you being here today with us. Y'all doing a lot of amazing things because I was actually watching some of y'all videos today, and y'all getting a lot of interactions with a lot of people as far as viewership, interactions, comments, likes, everything, shares. Like I was seeing people that I follow in Florida that be commenting on y'all stuff. So I was like, that's pretty cool. So y'all reaching a lot of people. So just to jump to my question, speaking of how much outreach y'all getting so far, just to talk about how big y'all are getting, has that surprised you how big y'all growing? Like I know you said y'all just decided you jumped on at the beginning of 2019, so it's been one full year since you've been with them full time, right?
No, it's 2 years now.
2 years. You're 2021. My bad. So in those 2 years, have y'all exceeded the goals that you thought y'all would go get to? Has any of this surprised you so far? How big y'all grown?
In the beginning, like it was very surprising. Like had that imposter syndrome. Like I didn't understand the impact that we had and the message that we were conveying to people. So at first it was definitely shocking like you said, whenever you have people that you've never met, but they hit you up on this platform and they're like, man, you helping change my life. Or man, because of you guys, I ended up changing my credit. I went from a 500 to a 730 over these few months. And now I'm able to buy a home with my family. And that was really like shocking, but that's really what solidified that what we were doing was purposeful and impactful. And that really helped me fall in love with this purpose that I got. And just being able to help people like that, that was, at first it was really hard to grasp at first. But once I really just started to understand, the role that we were playing in the community, it's not as shocking. But I still get like, because there's not a face attached to the brand. It's like it's a whole brand on its own. So I still get shocked whenever I'm like wearing our merch or something, and somebody stop me like, "Hey, where did you get that from?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's this is my website, or this is my business." And like, "Oh man, I love listening to you guys," or something like that. Like that still kind of baffles me sometimes, because I'm like, "Damn, you like listening to me?" And just like you said, outreach. There's people that the level of success that they've reached, and they're telling me, "Hey, I'm proud of what you're doing, and I'm proud of some of the things that you guys are doing." That blows my mind still too, because I feel like I'm a big humble person, so I just feel like, hey man, I'm out here just on Instagram doing a podcast, just trying to do what I can do, but it's rewarding that what we're doing is being recepted in a positive way.
Crazy. That really doesn't answer exactly what I wanted to know, because when we first started our podcast, we just started like midway through 2020, and we just wrapped up our first season, and the exact feeling you had when you was like, dang, people really listening to me. Like that's how it was when somebody like hit me up on Twitter talking about, Jordan, you crazy for saying this. Matt, how you let Will say this? I'll be like, wait, you was listening to us? I'm like, God, I appreciate that. Like, let's talk about what you want to talk about. But I just appreciate you tuning in and to see how big y'all grown. I know y'all probably get a lot of outreach from a lot of different people, and the people life that y'all changing. On top of that, I know that's like a amazing feeling to know that you can help people like that.
Yeah, man, it really is. And it just makes me want to go harder and just see really how many people's lives that we can touch and really just affect. And one of the real big reasons why we really decided to go through with this is there was a statistic also that said in 2053, the income, the household net worth of the African American will be zero. And that shit kind of like stuck with me. That was like that messed me up mentally. Like in 2053, every black person is supposed to be broke. Like we're not supposed to have money. So that kind of put a spark in my mind, and I was like, man, we can't let this happen. We need to get this information out.
That's a crazy fact. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know I cursed. I'm sorry, y'all.
That does not feel good. No, man, do you think? Yeah, it just, oh man, it feels bad to even. You're right. I didn't even know about that. Jordan took my words from me. So yeah, that's why it's so important to, I guess, get that information out there. Y'all doing a really good job over there. Yeah, like, same thing Matt said too. It's like it's a really weird thing having a podcast, because it's like you want to do it just so you can, like, you think you have good ideas, you think you have really solid information that you can convey to a community,
Mm-hmm.
and to actually receive any type of I guess like feedback and stuff like that, and people saying that they really enjoyed an episode that helped them out. Really, it's almost surreal, man. Like, it's really surreal.
It is. And to talk to podcasting, I remember like the first time I realized like our podcast was really catching spark. Once again, we had our Instagram page already. We had maybe like 25,000, 30,000 followers. But this guy hit us up on the page, and he's from Bermuda. I remember his name to this day, Body Barbera. I got on the phone with this guy, man. He called me on Instagram. I talked to him a few times, and it was crazy. He was like, "Man, I love what you guys are talking about. Nobody is talking about this in Bermuda. I just want you to know it's not just black people in America that you're helping." I was like, "Damn, bro, like this shit really is bigger than me." And that was just another thing that just kind of like messed my head up.
Man, got a worldwide influence. God damn.
I see you, Unc. Okay, reaching out to the Bermuda. Yes, they got a triangle out there. I see you, boy. I see you.
You going out there? You going out there to visit Body
I
by?
might have to go fuck with my boy Beer, man. I gotta go check up on him, man. I gotta see how he.
Don't get lost out there, man. You know you fly into that thing, don't come back.
Nah, man.
As long as you go to the triangle, you straight.
Nigga, no.
No, if you go to the triangle, he won't be straight.
No, if you go to the triangle, it's gone.
Oh,
You might
straight
as
if you
well
go to the
chop
triangle.
up.
You get lost in that, John.
That's the whole thing.
Yeah,
The
no,
Bermuda
yeah.
Triangle is not really a big triangle. It's a triangle between certain points of land and
Certain
sea.
islands,
And
yeah.
whenever you
It's an
fly into
island
this
land
zone or
mass.
go into this zone, there's been a lot of mysterious things that happen. You know, people come up missing, ghost ships, airplanes, seeing flying saucers and shit. Yeah, some fucked up shit.
Okay, never mind. Don't go to the triangle, bro. Whatever you do, you can go anywhere but the triangle, bro.
Jordan, if you trying to get with a Jalen, just say that, dog.
Yeah, I mean, kind of.
Nah.
Trying to piss him off at the beginning of this episode, man.
Nah, bro. Nah, I'm good.
Dang. So yeah, we I don't know how we got on there. Yeah, we got on the topic of Bermuda because we talking about the buy by beer.
Yeah.
So he must be like a trainer or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Did he look?
So yeah.
Oh yeah, I ain't gonna lie. He was doing some fit shit. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay, cool.
He tried to offer his advice to you.
Mm-mm.
Man, you gotta get your body right. All right, that's what's up. So we, as I said earlier, we got like a topic coming up, and we just want to talk about this for like a quick little bit, and it's relating to like kind of what Jalen said. It seems like Black families struggle with gaining wealth and stuff like that, and I just want to ask you all like, why do you think that's like a thing? Just maybe the habits of Black people, like what was going on in history. I know Jalen could probably tell us a little bit about that. I have a little bit of, I guess, information on it myself. Yeah, that's the question. Anybody can go first. It don't matter. Whoever want to do it. Why have Black families, you think, struggled like for decades to gain like wealth?
Y'all want me to go first?
It don't matter. Do your thing. You can go first. It don't matter. Anybody.
It's a few reasons and a few factors that go into this. It's a few things that play into it though. I don't even know what's the root of the problem because it's something that you got to dig deep onto. But I know one thing is we don't really have life insurance policies. So we need to understand and learn how to start establishing life insurance policies, but not even just having life insurance policies. We need to understand the art of estate planning also, like what happens with your money once you're no longer here, not just in your life insurance policy and not just a will. There's other instruments that you can use to protect and pass on wealth. Another thing is the lack of ownership in real estate. That hurts us within our net worth and building wealth. Also, us not really just understanding the whole financial game, us not understanding how the game of taxes work, how the game of owning a business or a corporation versus just being a regular civilian or a regular citizen. The differences and the advantages that you can live through that. Also, just not investing in general. A lot of the times we don't really invest. We don't invest in the stock market. We don't invest in a lot of things because we don't have the knowledge on a lot of things. And us as Black people, if we don't know what it is, we're not gonna fuck with it. We're not gonna like if it's too complex to this or whatever. Like we just not we gonna tune out. And a lot of times we think that these investment realms are getting into these investment things is like that's a white person's sport or I'm not supposed to be there. So sometimes we also let those mental barriers keep us from entering in those fields. But even just with building wealth in general, our history is not typically that we can't build wealth. There's this book that I read last year. It's called Black Fortunes by Shamari Wells. And he went through the lives of the first six Black millionaires after slavery, after emancipation, and how they were able to obtain their wealth. And some of them did have to hide the fact that, hey, I'm Black. Some of them, they amassed a large fortune of wealth, but they weren't able to pass it on because their estate was robbed from them after their passing because they didn't have the proper tools and proper things set up. So once again, there's some times where we can build up wealth while we're here, but we don't understand the game of passing it on once we're gone. And then another thing is we're not teaching the ones who are coming up what to do with the wealth if it is passed on. Because if it is passed on to another generation, it won't make it past the second generation after that one. If it makes it to that second generation. I know that was a mouthful, but it's more than that.
It was. I had a question for you because everything you said it made a lot of sense, but it's just two things I wanted to speak about. First, the book that you said that the guy wrote about the first six millionaires, Black millionaires. What book was that again?
It's called Black Fortunes.
Black Fortunes. And you remember the author name or?
Shamari Wells.
Bet. So just so people can hear that again so they can make sure they tune into that. So my only thing is everything you said made a lot of sense. The only kind of thing I have to go against it is that, and I'm not making excuses for Black people or anybody, but like just like how you said, Black people really they kind of nervous or kind of scared to like just do anything because that's how they are with their money. They just like I was watching the interview just the other day, and the guy was like, they all millionaires, they're NFL players. He was just like, man, he said, we can put our money together and go buy this hotel, yada, yada, yada. And 5 years from now, we'll make our money back double or triple. All you got to do is give me 50,000, yada, yada, yada. And they all NFL players, millionaires. And he was just like, man, I'm not giving you $50,000. I'd rather my $50,000 just sit in my bank account or I spend it on what I want to, but I'm not giving it to you. He was like, well, I'm putting up 50,000 too. Like you put up 50, I put up 50. We can all do it. And it's like a lot of times Black people are conditioned to be real protected over their money for reasons like you said. It can be stolen from them. It can be took from them. They just don't want to lose it. Period. They don't want to be being private. They don't want to be broke. So they're not willing to take risks. And I feel like a lot of times if they're not educated on certain stuff to do, they don't know what route to take. So a lot of times, like when I watch podcasts like yours or YouTube channels like yours, I try to look for things that are like stuff that they can do. Like people want to like tell me like it can make people like you upset because it's like, dog, I did my research, I read this book, I did this, and not saying I don't want to give you this, but it's some stuff that you just got to learn on your own. But a lot of times people just want to be handed stuff in a way. Like they want you to tell them exactly what to do and exactly how to do it. And they want to let you know what stock to buy in or what house to buy, and everything not ideal like that. But a lot of time people don't know what they don't know. So if I don't know what to do with my money, I may have all the best intentions to want to do something, but I just don't know. Like I don't know how to get to point A to point B. I just don't know. And you may be able to comprehend better than me, and you can go out and learn it and teach yourself that. But for somebody, not saying just me in particular, I'm just saying I could be anybody. It's hard. It may be harder for me to learn that. And a lot of times when people look for people like you, or not trying to just spin on you, just people in your field, they be want to look for talented like stuff that you can tell them so they know exactly what to do. Like, do you get that a lot? People that won't like tell me you look what you think I should do? Because a lot of times, like just us being in the chapter together, when Neos come in, like a lot of time, like Will told me, he was like, "Dog, it's so much I want to tell y'all, but I just don't know what to tell y'all." And that made so much sense to me when I got older. I was like, I know exactly what he mean. Like he was like, it's so much I want to tell you, but I just don't know what to tell you because it's so much to know. I just wouldn't know where to start. It just a situation would have to come up, and I'd be like, "Oh yeah, you should do that. You should do this, or you should do that." You get what I'm saying, Jalen? I know I just said a lot though.
And nah, I get you. And there's a few points that you definitely did touch on there that I want to touch on too. So the first one with the podcast, it was the I'm an Athlete podcast.
That's
with
exactly
Brandon
that's what Shannon said it. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
She was going back and forth with Fred Taylor.
But and that's crazy. Like the fact that they got that money, but that also speaks to the circle that he probably associates himself with. Because if it was people who invested in real estate in that room, I promise you that deal would have probably happened. I promise you that deal probably would have happened. Because and that once again that goes with understanding how money works. You need to have your money working for you at all the time. And of course, every investment is a risk. Like it doesn't matter what it is. Like there's always a risk associated with investing your money. There's a few investments I recently learned about that's like highly risk free, but it's for the ultra rich people. But we can talk about that later. But anyways, a lot of investments, they all have risks. Like it doesn't matter what it is. And that goes on to that second point that you was talking about when people are like, tell me what to do. Tell me what stock to buy. I can't do that because if I do that, I'm liable for your future and your money now because I don't know exactly what the stock market is going to do. I can't predict that for you. I can't tell you, hey, Apple, I can tell you Apple is a good stock to buy, but I can't tell you to go buy this stock because now I'm held liable because of that. I can tell you it's a good company. I can tell you all the things that Apple's doing. But if you go and you invest all your money and Apple tanks tomorrow, who are you going to come back and say, hey, man, you told me go invest my money in Apple?
I'm finna kill you now.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
So
I ain't got no more money. I'm
totally liable to that. So that's one reason why I can't tell you that. Another reason why people won't directly tell you, oh, go do this stock is because the stock market is a game of actually learning and building upon things. It's just like math. If you can't do addition and if you can't do addition and subtraction, you're never going to be able to do algebra. It's a game of building blocks. You have to start from the beginning and you have to learn what's going on. You got to learn the basics from the beginning. Like you got to go understand what makes a good company to invest in. That's understanding their financial records. That's being able to read a profit and a loss statement. That's being able to read a 10K. That's being able to read a 8K chart. That's being able to read a 5-year chart and see if they're going up, going down. What's their 52-week highs? You need to know and understand all of that. And the reason why I feel like a lot of us black people, we don't get into those markets is because we hear those words that I just said. And you're like, man, I don't know what it is. I don't know what that is. Guess what? Get on Google. You Google whenever you want to know some shit. You Google whenever, or you get on Twitter and try to find out, oh, they storming the White House right now. Are they doing this? Or what Sweetie outfit was? Where she get that from? Google it. If you don't understand that, go educate yourself. You have to be able to break it down to a simpler form. And that's a reason why we started this, to break down the complex words and jargons and everything that our black people don't understand. We're breaking it down for them. But at the same time, I can lead a horse to water, but I can't make you drink. I'm not going to do all the work for you. It doesn't make sense. And then I'm held liable for whenever a mess up happens.
And they want to put it all on you. That makes a lot of sense. And what you just said is the perfect and like metaphor. I can lead you to water, but I can't make you drink. And just to touch on one. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
And like with podcasts and stuff, a lot of the times the podcast is not meant to teach you everything. The podcast is meant to spark your interest in it. The podcast is meant to give you, to open up the lid to the pot, show you what's in the sauce, not go look for the recipe, go figure out how to make it your own. You got to understand that. But a lot of people aren't as self-motivated like that. But in the real world, in personal finance and in the real world, you got to go get it on your own. Or if you got a good family and support system, you're going to be good. But if not, you're going to die. Like the pandemic showed us all of this. If you don't know how to get it, if you don't have a reliable stream of income, a reliable source of income, the government not coming to save you. If you ain't got a strong family, they not coming to save you. You need to understand how to manage your money and how to get multiple streams of income.
And I agree with a lot of that you said. That's why I brought up the point that I brought up for you to touch on that, because the way you just articulated all that makes me believe that this is not the first time you've been encountered with this, or you probably came encountered with people that did this with you before, and it kind of led you to have all the thoughts you had so laid out. Because if it was the first time you heard it, you probably wouldn't know what to say, but you knew everything you wanted to say and articulated well, because it was like, dog, I know how it is, and I'm trying to tell y'all, like, this how it is to get it. I can't do everything for you, but I give you what I can give you to help you along the way. And one thing that when I was listening to your podcast, y'all had a guest on. It was a while back. Her name was Aisha, correct?
Aisha Sheldon, that's my dog.
Yeah, and one of your co-hosts asked her. They was like, "What is like once you got started? How did you teach yourself?" And she said, everybody have their own way. Some people like watching podcasts, or some people like listen to podcasts. Some people like watching YouTube. Some people just can sit down and just read. She said none of those ways was how she learned. She said she learned from trial and error. She learned from just messing up, figuring out what she did wrong, and improving, messing up. It's over and over again. That's her way, and that's with anything really. You can't like, I can't come to you and be like, hey Jalen, teach me everything you know the exact way you learned it, and I want to do everything you do. My way to learning may be completely different from your way, but it's just about finding what works for me and finding my niche and finding how I'm going to be able to remember everything that's being thrown at me. And if sitting down reading 3 books in a week span, not for you. And don't be upset because it's not. Or listen to a podcast for an hour and 30. I can do that. I don't mind doing it at all. Like I said, I just listened to y'all today. And I listen to other ones. Like, I don't mind doing that. But some people feel like that's too long. But, like, you just got to find what's for you. And sometimes, like she said, just going out there and messing up.
That's really what it is.
That may be what's for you, too.
That's one of the best ways to learn. Because I promise you, if you keep on going left and every time you go left is a dead end, 9 times out of 10, you're going to learn, man, if I go left, I'm not going to get where I'm going. Like, that's just the way you're going to learn. Sometimes you just got to jump in the water.
That's a fact.
Be thrown in the water.
And I know y'all might have some rebuttals and people might be like, man, building generational wealth, I can't do that. I can't invest or whatever. And it's another thing that you got to analyze. And we wrote a book. It's called Managing Money Like the 1%. It's a step-by-step guide to getting your finances in order. And one of the first things we do is you got to look yourself in the mirror and you got to really have a come to Jesus moment with yourself. You got to understand what's going on with your situation. You got to be able to write down everything on a budget and a spreadsheet and understand, where am I spending my money? Where's my money truly going? You might be a person who loves to shop. You might be a person who loves to go out. You might be a person who loves to smoke weed. You might be a person who loves to drink. But you got to have that conversation with yourself and you got to be real. You got to understand, okay, where's my money going? But there's a double-edged sword to that. Sometimes there's people who really are in a financial situation where it doesn't matter how much they compute, their money is so tight that you're too tight to budget. So the only other thing you got to do is learn how to increase your income. It's 2 things. Either you can budget your way or you got to increase your income, but you should always be focusing to increase your income streams. But sometimes budgeting won't be your way out of a financial situation. Sometimes you got to learn and develop skills to increase your income. And people might be like, man, my job not paying me enough or my this or whatever. That means you're not valuable enough. Whenever you start to bring value to someone, they're going to pay you what you're worth.
I'm glad you said that last part, because I was sure going to say it, because people tell me that you can't save your way out of poverty. They're like, I work, I make this amount of money. All my money is literally going to bills. I can't
And
I
I
can't
promise
save
you,
my way out of this. Like, but I'm glad you brought up the second part was either
and I
you
promise
can
you them
save.
same.
Oh, go ahead, my bad.
I promise you them same people that tell you that though. I promise you they're doing something where they can at least put $100 aside or something to the side.
Facts. You may be right. I mean, that's what I heard. Like before though, they be like, you can't save your way out of that situation. But you brought up another solution. Either you can afford to do that, or you got to find a way to increase your income. A lot of time when people say that, they don't give two options of income. They don't give two options for them to do. They be like, just save your way out of it. Just invest. And they be like, I don't have the money to invest. Yes, you do. You just ain't seeing it. You got it. Just invest. You be like, I literally do not have the money, but you gave two options. You like either you can do it or find a way to make more ways of income. Then you can do it. Like, so I'm glad that you said that.
And like another thing is within our book, we go through this. Like sometimes you might have debt and you might have stuff that you got to take care of before you can even start investing. If you got high interest debt on you, you need to take care of that first, because if not, that's going to eat away your profit of any type of investment that you do make. Like over the long run, you still got this debt that you have to pay every month. So you got to understand your situation. And that's why it's called personal finance, because everyone's situation is different. Personal is personal. Like we all have total different personal finances, but there's a way for each one of us to reach the same goal of personal financial freedom.
Has anybody ever called you LLC Twitter?
No, not really.
Well, you are LLC Twitter.
I mean, I guess.
Not saying you are, but I mean saying I seen people throw that out to people a lot. They're
Yeah,
like, "Oh, here come
people do that.
LLC,
Yeah,
here come LLC's Twitter, telling us that we gotta do this."
Here come LLC Twitter. Here come Forex Twitter.
I mean, hey, it is what it is. Everybody got some, but I promise you, the people who really in LLC Twitter, 10 years from now, they'll be doing a whole lot better than the people who just fucking off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Hell nah. I ain't about to agree with that. Cause that could be true, but sometimes people. Not saying you are. I'm not saying.
I said really. That's what I said. Really. Like the people who are really living out the life that they talking about on Twitter, like really kicking the game and really out here getting to it.
Okay, I agree with that. Then I would say sometimes I do see people that they say are LLC Twitter.
Nah,
And
that's big cap on the internet.
Yeah, okay, that's all I'm saying. Like, yeah, that's all I'm saying. But it like,
oh yeah, you gotta be aware in the internet streets, man. There's some weird people out there, bro.
Okay, yeah, facts. That's a fact.
I still want to hear y'all's input on why y'all think the black community is broke, though. Like why y'all feel like we're not able to amass wealth.
Well, I said mine. I feel like. Well, I said a lot. Go ahead, Will. I'm sorry. I talk too much.
Well, just for me, I just feel like it's it all started like a long time ago. Like I feel like I've said this. Oh, I said this earlier that I feel like we didn't have a leg up on a lot of things. Like literally, slavery happened, of course, and we didn't have the opportunity. We were once property, so we didn't have the opportunity to amass that wealth. We didn't have a leg up to gain the property because at one time we were operating and being property once before, and there were lots of different government acts, lots of other things like we weren't allowed to buy houses or certain houses. There was things called redlining. There were other things that attributed to black wealth not being exactly prevalent in the black community. I know a lot of people say it's on us. It's like how our spending habits are. We like to buy watches, cars, houses, things that impress people. I think that's a part of it. But I think we would be remiss if we didn't actually admit the fact that we literally, it was a losing race from the beginning. We weren't allowed to buy houses. Loans from banks were extremely hard to get, if you can get it at all, if they were loaning out to black people at all. It was a very small few, and it was set up for us to lose in the beginning, and it's kind of like you're fighting a losing race. But like Jalen said, my dad had actually read the book that you're talking about, where a certain amount of black people with some fortune, they were able to amass some fortune. Um, but I mean, it's a weird thing. It's like I see black people sometimes we get like happy when we have a couple of people that make it, and it's really cool, and I love it. I love that certain people can make it, some people can be millionaires, but I don't think it stops there. That certain a certain few black people. We got certain athletes, we got certain entertainers, and we feel like we have to be put in a box. And because a certain few people make it, we're saying we don't want better for ourselves. We don't want things to be changed in the government or different things. Different acts to be enrolled because no, we got Jalen with BWR, we got Ice Cube, we got different people that have different businesses and stuff like that that are literally like they're doing good. So we made it. The black people make it. We make it. So, but that's not the case. So that's what I'm saying. Like there's a lot to be said about that. But I'm gonna kick it on to Jordan and see what he think about this.
Look. Check it. All right. Y'all answers were very sophisticated. Okay. My answer's not going to be like that. Just letting y'all know now. But growing up, I learned from my mom that you go to work, you pay your bills. You go to work, you pay your bills. You go to work, you pay your bills. If your bills are too much, you go get a second job. Like that's what I learned my entire life. Then when I got to college, after I, crossed messing with Jalen, other different alphas, hey man, y'all need to invest. Y'all need to invest. So I came back to my mom and I was like, mom, I have this idea. Like I want to invest in this. And because of her mindset and the way she thinks, it was impossible for her to see like a good outcome, out of me investing. Like it was always, I don't think you need to do that. You need to go ahead and finish school before you start thinking about any of that. Like it was just always a shutdown. So I definitely agree with the fact that black people are sometimes scared to get into something and they're not positive that they're going to get their money back. Like black people are super protective over the money that they worked hard for. So if they're not sure that they're going to get it back, then hey, I'd rather just keep it in my pocket. So that's my take on it, bro.
That's a good take because that is something that goes on in the community. We just talk, go to work, and just do what you got to do. But like I said, you got to learn how to make that dollar work for you. And the same rebuttal that you had with your mom, I had the same thing, man. I quit my job in 2019. You know how crazy my fucking people thought I was? Think you doing what? To do what?
I'm already knowing.
Bro, like they was like, hey man, you tripping. Like they really thought I had lost my mind. And it's just crazy. Because at the time that I quit, Black Earth Renaissance wasn't paying me nothing. It still doesn't pay me anything. Like I'm just doing this off the strength of, once again, of what I believe in, the purpose and the work that I'm doing. Like
sure.
This shit is not paying my bills or nothing. So I still got to get it out the mud on the side. But I believe in this business. And last year we were able to turn a 6-figure year. We had 6 figures. So what we doing, I see the fruits of our labor coming to fruition, but it's just like I had to bet on myself. And I want to speak to what Will said too with like the just amassing the wealth and stuff. The redlining and all of that shit, like that, it was definitely hard for our people to receive certain things and to get certain benefits and stuff. Like you still see it today. There's still some companies that put certain stipulations or certain things like that. So like all of that does play into the bigger picture. Like it's a whole, it's not just one problem of why we're not able to build this wealth. Once again, it's called systemic racism or systemic oppression. It's a system. Systems composed of different mechanisms that create one big mechanism. So like it's different reasons of why this shit is happening to us. It's just not one reason. But we need to at least start understanding personal finance, how money works. We need to not be as afraid to take risk. And we also need to be able to work together. Just speaking to that podcast that Matt was talking about, like all of those football players, like he said, they could have came together. If they bought that hotel, they would have been supplying jobs. They could have been supplying jobs for everybody they know. That changes the whole outcome now. They still making their money off the top, but they still helping the community because now they're supplying jobs to people that wouldn't have had those jobs.
Facts.
So it all plays, it's all a part of a bigger system and a bigger ecosystem. And everybody just got to know how to play their role. And also just whenever people buying, I want to speak to like the psychological of just buying stuff. Like, I ain't gonna lie, I used to be a person, I used to love shoes. Like, I haven't bought a pair of shoes in like 2 years now. But I used to like love shoes. Yes, bro, I haven't bought shoes well, I ain't gonna lie, I bought shoes to flip. But like for me personally, I haven't bought any shoes to really just rock on my feet. But I've flipped a few pairs in the years.
You flipped them, Jones? Have you flipped? You know what I'm talking about?
These are the Travis Scotts.
The Travis Scotts.
Yes, I did. $1,800. But yeah, so but yeah, like we like to buy these things because it gives us a sense of relief whenever we purchase these things. It's like, oh man, I'm gonna be fresh. Man, I'm about to kill these niggas. Like, oh man, I got this ice, I got this. And it makes you feel good psychologically because it makes you feel a sense of like a sense of accomplishment of like, oh man, I got this. So at least I'm worth this much. Hey, if I was able to go spend this $200 on these shoes, hey, I got this. Like, you might not be able to go spend them $200, but at the end of the day, we still in the same hood, dealing with the same problems. You driving on the same potholes that I'm driving over. Like, you might be eating a little bit better at the end of at night or something, but our situation is really not that much different. We got to understand that the game is to be played for the long term and not the short term. That's another thing. We don't understand the sense of delayed gratification. And that's just like in today's society, not just for everyone.
I agree. I mean, what it is, and like, it's a sense of having something that somebody doesn't have. Like people, it's like kind of like classism in a way. It's like people feel like, oh, since I got this, I can look down on you because you don't have this, or you can't afford this. Oh, I got the Birkin. You can't afford Birkin. Yeah. Like, I can look at you differently now because I can get this. So when I'm out and I'm wearing it, I just feel different. Like if I had this on my arm, I just feel different. I'm not even Birkin to talk about women, just shoes. Like the shoes you just said you sold for $1,800. Like the dude can be like, I paid $1,800 for this. I bet he can stun on. Like he feel like he's stunning on somebody, but who's stunning really? You got $1,800 for him.
I spent $200
exactly. It's my thing that what people attest that to a lot of things though. Like it's like if I got it, I'm better than you, or if I got this outfit, or if I got these clothes. And Jordan kind of talk about it a lot. He says. Like, you may not even remember this, Jordan, but you say just because you wear all designer don't mean you can dress.
Facts.
Yeah.
Big boy. I ain't gonna get into it, but you right though.
You don't want to get into it?
Nah. Well, I will a little bit, bro. People will literally go to the store. They will get a whole Gucci fit and don't even be rocking that John. Like, son, you look at them crazy, like, bro, what you got on right now? I promise you, right now, if I was to go to Goodwill, I could find me some 5 jeans. I'll find me a 5 button down. I'll find me a 5 snapback. And I promise you, I'll be cleaner than son. And that's on everything, bro. Because most of these dudes out here, they cannot dress. I don't care if it's designer. I don't care if it's from Goodwill. Bros just can't dress.
But they feel like they better than you because they can afford it, though. Even if you could and you choosing not to, they feel like, because I got this and you don't got this, that makes me better than you. And it's like,
Fact.
And that's just, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like, rappers rap about it a lot. People sing about it, like, write songs about it. Like, like I know Kanye West's name is in the media right now, but he raps about it when he was like, he said, I'm not leaving my house without my rollie, or I can't leave the house unless I got my fresh ones on, like yada yada. Like people feel like they gotta have that, and it's like he spoke on a lot as far as like classism. You just feel like they feel like if they're in the higher class than you, then they're better than you, or they can talk to you any kind of way, and I can understand that in a way too, because just what Jalen talked about, like sometimes you just gotta step back. Said it before, step back and readjust your aim and find a better target, then proceed. But don't just go out there blasting that thing, hoping you hit the target. Step back, breathe, aim that sucker up, then let go. But like people always want to feel like they better than somebody, and I mean it's a growing thing too though, because I think it's weird, but I in a way I understand why people think like that. So
Yeah, it's all about values, what you value, honestly, what you hold near and dear to you. If you value clothes and money and jewelry and cars, because even though I'm like into entrepreneurship, I don't value money. I want the freedom that I can have. I want to just be able to go do whatever I want to do. Whenever I have kids, I don't want to have to miss their whatever. Or if I see someone on the side of the road who needs some help, I want to be able to help them. So that's what I look to make the money for. It's not just to say, "Oh, I'm about to go stun on this person."
Have you always had that mindset that you have as far as being an entrepreneur, even before you got with your company? Is that something you feel like you always had, or is that something you feel like you kind of molded yourself into?
Nah, I feel like I've always been an entrepreneur, bro. Like, and I was reflecting upon this the other day because we recently had our 100th episode. We recently had our 100th episode, and we reflected like about just our entrepreneurial journey. But even as a young kid, bro, like I was always trying to get it. I was washing cars at my cousin's car dealership, trying to make some bread at like 7 years old. I used to pick pecans at my grandmother's backyard, have a sack, and I'm just walking down the street with some pecans, trying to go make some bread. And I would just always try to figure out a way to make some money. Even whenever I got to school, I don't know if y'all have ever heard the story of how I raised my money for my tuition. I mean, for my dues for Alpha, but I had a whole barbecue sale, bro. I made like $2,000 to make my initiation dues. I had a barbecue sale because I didn't want to ask my people for that money, but I was like, I'm gonna do what I gotta do to reach my goal. And even in school, like me and Josh and Will, we had another business where we were selling shirts and stuff like that. I remember one night I pulled up outside the bin with the barbecue pit attached to my damn blazer. I was selling pork steak sandwiches, bro. Like I feel like I've always been a hustler. But I had to understand the difference between hustling and actually being a businessman. And that's something that I've been learning. Like there's a difference between an entrepreneur and a businessman. So have I always been an entrepreneur? Yes. Have I always been fully business minded? No. But ever since 2018, really 2019, I've been focusing and honing in those skills of becoming a better businessman and a better entrepreneur.
I like the way you put that, man.
Will got
Just told me something.
Like, go ahead.
Yeah, no. We've been asking you a lot of questions. I was just wondering if there's anything that you want to like ask us. You know, it's kind of been like a whole like. I mean, I know we kind of talked about the money and everything like that, but I don't know if you just have something that you want to ask to us because if you came on anything.
I do, because I listen to y'all podcast, and I know y'all be talking about music and shit, and y'all be reviewing some albums and everything. And I just wanted to ask y'all, what are y'all credentials for what makes an album or a piece of work great? What's your criteria for saying, man, that was a good ass album?
I can run through that mug, and I don't really have no skips.
You say you can play that joint straight through and no skip. That usually let that joint ride out.
Man, one album, I'm just just giving my take. Travis Scott, Birds in the Trap sing,
Yeah,
man, all the way through.
that's my shit.
We all the way through, bro. Take Care. Let me stop. Go ahead. Y'all finish.
I think for me, it's like the musicality of it. Like because I do come from a music background, I look at things like musically. Like it didn't matter if you got, everybody knows this. It's known that I hate NBA YoungBoy, but with a passion. But don't let them know that though. So if you're looking at somebody like NBA YoungBoy or something like that, you're trying to like critique his new work. Me, I'm looking for something as, is it a new sound? Is he basically just using his old music and building on it, and basically just knowing what people know him to sound like? So I'm gonna just keep making a carbon copy of the music, change it just a little bit, like the baby songs, they box, but what is he? Is he challenging himself musically? Like Jalen, not Jalen, like Jordan said, like, is this something I can listen to and not be like, wait, what is this? Like, I'm not really, this not vibing. Like the music, the musicality of it is not, it don't go together, or the flow is just not there, or I've heard this person do better, and they're just not delivering like I feel like they should be delivering. So me, that's the criteria I look for, like when I'm listening to a new album, a new piece of work, a new body of work, just a new single.
All right, so for me, and I feel like Jalen got a lot to say. So for me though, honestly, like one thing I don't like is when somebody calls somebody album trash in 30 minutes. That's like one of my it's like one of my pet peeves. Like that's like disrespectful. Like
this is how I feel whenever they do that.
We got a sound maker too. Okay, we got everything over there. This a.
But continue, Matt. What else are you trying to use?
But yeah, man, that's one thing I don't like. You gotta. Sometimes I feel like you gotta let things marinate on you and feel out for it, get a feel for it. But like, what makes an album great to me is like, y'all boys got to make everything so vulgar, so nasty minded, young men.
Hold on, what was said?
Like I said, you gotta let it marinate, and you gotta get that. You gotta let it feel out on you, and you gotta just. You can't just.
Nah, you a freak.
Yeah.
You a freak.
You gotta let it marinate for real.
Oh, that boy said marinate. Sit up.
You gotta let
it marinate on you for real though. Real talk. Like finding good music is like probably for some people a sexual experience. You never know.
Mm-hmm.
You never know. So that's the honest thing, Will. You looking crazy because you don't understand. That's why you gotta find your.
No, I do understand. There's a thing called eargasms. People have eargasms when they first listen to music. I literally have a nostalgia playlist, and I literally found a lot of the songs I've been listening to in high school and kind of like around high school, early college. And I think this is a really good point. Like you all should make. I really encourage this. You all should make a nostalgia playlist, because not only do nostalgia playlists kind of bring you back to that song and just kind of like make you feel good about it and all nostalgic and stuff, it kind of it puts you back in a place to where you were, like when you listen to that music first, and you get to see how much you've grown either as a person or, as, whatever you're doing in your life. And you just look back like, dang, so much time has passed by. And it just puts you back in that feeling. So yeah, I encourage everybody to make a nostalgia playlist. I have one of like 600 songs, and it's only growing.
Damn,
I feel you. That's a lot of nostalgia.
Wow.
Go ahead. So yeah, I was saying about the albums. Like albums to me, it's like you gotta. Like I said, I'm not saying it to be funny again. I'm just saying you gotta marinate on it and let it sit there with you, and really just listen to it. Like Jordan said, something that you can just listen through straight through. The first album I can go back. The first album that in my life that I thought was a great album was Lil Wayne Carter 3. That was the first album I ever listened to, and I was like, this is we might have to stop for a second.
Nah, that was one of Jalen's sound effects.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was a hand clap. I caught me off guard. I like
That boy said, "Well, we about to stop it. We about to
I
stop
like
it."
that. But no lie though. That was like one of my first albums I thought was a great album was Carter 3, man. Then after that, I really just start kind of getting the idea of what a great album was after that. And I started listening for stuff like listen for style, listen for theme, listen for like creativity, like listening for stuff like that, listen for how the songs flow from one song to the next song. Like, cause like a lot of great albums, they tell a story from track one all the way down to the last track, and the story flows like what's his name, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. He told a story from track one all the way to the last track, and it's like he was flowing with you. He would like bring you in a day of being in Compton, and it's like stuff like that. Like you can't just go in the studio and make that in a week. Like you can't just Tyler Perry that, like how he did that movie he made in 1 week. You can't just Tyler Perry that. You gotta sit there and, like Kanye West with My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. He said it took him 5,000 hours to make one track. Like you know what I'm saying? Like it takes time and it takes creativity. And Drake, I know people think I hate Drake. Take Care, a great album to me. Nothing Was the Same, a great album to me. And people don't agree with that one, but both those albums are great albums to me.
I really think Nothing Was the Same is. It's not better than Take Care, but them bitches neck and neck.
They both cold. They both are cold. And like I said, that like those are great. Like Lauryn Hill on her first album, that was a great album to me. Miseducation, Lauryn Hill, like that's a great album. Like Jordan don't like it. I don't know if it's Jordan or Trent, but Chance the Rapper, Coloring Book, even though it was a mixtape, I love it.
Nah, bro, that's gotta be Trent.
It's definitely Trent.
Oh yeah, Trent don't like it. Trent don't like that. He don't like Coloring Book. But yeah, like stuff like that. Those are great albums to me. So yeah, man. Like that's pretty much what it is to me. Like style, the creativity on it, how it flows. You can tell when somebody's do something together. Like I remember one time Plies put out 2 albums back to back in like a month span, and he was like, "Oh, these just leftover songs from the last album. I just didn't have enough room, so I just threw them on this one." And I was just like, "It sounds like it, my boy. It sounds
like it, my boy." Oh snap!
That's what I'm saying. So you just stuff like that, man. Like it's a lot of to me. It's a lot of music out there, and that's just one thing I want to challenge people to do for 2021. Is like when they did their music reviews from 2020, I seen people that barely listen to 100 different artists, and I'm like, man, there's so many artists out there, and like I feel like you can easily touch 800. But my challenge to everybody out there that's listening is listen to at least, I want to say 50, but I'm gonna make it easy for you. Is listen to at least 25 artists that you never listened to before in your life. Listen to that album. That's why I want to challenge people out there. Listen in 2021. Listen to 25 artists that you never listened to in your life. Listen to one of their albums. Listen to their debut album or listen to their most recent album. But find the artists that you never listened to in your life, and just try to broaden what you listen to. Like listen to the same people over and over every year. Like man, you missing out, and I want better for you.
I like that.
I'm gonna do that for real.
And I enjoyed all of y'all answers. Y'all had some really good answers. And I wanted to, and I knew y'all were going to give me some good answers. And I kind of aligned with a lot of the things that y'all always saying, like even with Will, like being musically inclined, like I look at certain things in music, like whenever I listen to songs, I listen for actual beats and patterns, and I'll say, oh, this person, they're using a triplet. Oh, they're really overusing this triplet. Oh, this is like an eighth flow. Like, oh, this is a crescendo, decrescendo. Like, I listen to all of those things, like really just understanding what's going on with music. Like, I listen to the technicalities, but same thing with Matt. I look for who's being creative, who's got their own style, who's actually telling a story. And one of my favorite things is whenever an album flows well, like whenever the tracks flow well together, like from one song goes right into another one. Somebody who does this really well is Ty Dolla $ign. Like that motherfucker albums, all of his shit, like they flow so well. It's just like, damn, man, did this song even stop? But even with real. Like people like hated Summer Walker's album, but like even some people hated because of the style that she had. But even that one, it flowed well. And that's one of the reasons why people don't talk about Drake's first album, because that shit was not tracked right. That shit did not fucking flow well. Like, I remember whenever that shit dropped, I was like, oh, this shit don't, like, the songs was good, but it just wasn't like, it wasn't one of them. Yeah, but
No, we don't
Thank
tolerate
you,
Drake slander on this
Jalen. Hey,
Please.
I'm
bring Jalen
talking about
back.
the first album. I'm talking about the first album. I'm a Drake fan, but
You talking? Wait, which album
the
are you
very
talking
first
about?
one.
What? No, what's the name? You talk
Man,
about comeback season. You
no,
talking about
nigga,
so far
it's
gone?
debut
Will, you a Drake
album.
fan? Why you name it mixtape?
So you talking about
No,
so far
Will, you a
gone?
Drake fan?
That's not an album.
You a Drake fan?
So far gone was released as a mixtape.
Come on, dog. People say they Drake fans been
Released
saying
as
stuff
a
like
mixtape.
that.
So thank me. You talking about thank me later?
And then it
Thank me later.
Yes.
Is what you're
Come on,
saying.
dog.
Yes.
You were
No, thank me later was a good title, but you have your opinion. That's your opinion. That's what makes music different.
Yeah.
dog. You a Drake fan?
And
Like,
that's another thing. Like, the music though, like, everyone has their opinion. Everybody knows what they want to listen to. Like, and once again, with what you were saying, Matt, I hate when people say music is trash, like, after the first 30 minutes. I totally agree with you, like, with letting it, I'm not going to say marinate on you, but letting it, like, just sit on your soul. With me, I have a thing with, like, if I'm going to commit to listening to an album, I got to at least listen to it twice before I say it was trash or not. Because, there's always that one song that you probably was doing something, cleaning up your room, you couldn't hit skip, and then it actually start playing and get to one part that you didn't like, and then it start playing like, oh man, this shit was kind of fire. Like, it's always something that happens like that. So I have a rule for myself. If I'm going to listen to it, I at least got to listen to it twice before I say, oh, this is not it, or this is it. But sometimes there's ones that you just can't sit through. Like, I'm a Childish Gambino fan, but that damn song, that damn album with Redbone on it, I've never been able to finish that album ever.
No, I did not like it. I'm with
It's
you.
a few songs that I like on it, but I've never been able to finish that album. And
it was a very hard listen.
I've tried to force myself to finish it, but I've never been able to finish
Redbone a classic though. Redbone is something that I want to play for my kids in 30 years.
Yeah, Redbone a classic.
Redbone a classic. I just want to get on my soapbox about Willoughby. William Willoughby. Just allow me to get on this soapbox.
I'm not gonna let y'all do it.
I'm not running. I'm here.
Let me get on my soapbox, and I know I get on my soapbox a lot because I'm very opinionated. So let me get up here. My thing that I disdain is people be trying to debate me about stuff that I disagree with, and I know this stuff better than they know the stuff, but they call themselves the fan. Like, how you gonna? And I'm not talking about you right now, Will, but I'm gonna get back to you. How you gonna debate me about Drake? And I know Drake better than you, but you over here telling me that I'm wrong about Drake. But I know I'm better than you. Or like, just to bring up basketball, like Steph Curry. People trying to debate me about my opinions on Steph Curry, and I'd be like, dog, I know I'm better than you, and you trying to debate me, and I'm not even a fan of his. So you need to educate yourself about the person you call your favorite before you come back to me and try to debate me. And that's how I feel about Drake. Willoughby over here talking about he a Drake fan, and he can't even name Drake's first album. Come on, man. What is, like, don't.
Some people consider certain things his first album or his first piece of work. I was trying to see what he thought. I was talking about what he thought was his first album. That's what I'm asking, because he didn't say a name. He didn't say, "Oh, I didn't think this piece of work." He didn't say it, so I didn't know if he knew.
I'm talking about an LP.
He said an album. He said Drake's first album. Like, what more do you want? He said Drake's first album. Drake called his first.
I was wondering, he didn't say what he was talking about, so I wanted to make sure
Drake called.
What was going to say?
Let's go on what Drake says. Drake calls Dank Belated his first album. So how about we go off what the artist says himself? Drake's called Dank Belated his debut album. So let's go off what he says then. Let's not go off what Jalen says. Let's not go off what you said. Let's go off what the actual artist said. The actual artist said his debut album is Thank Me Later. So when someone says Drake's first album, I always assume they're talking about Thank Me Later, unless they said Drake's first mixtape. Then I'm thinking about the other stuff that you said. So educate yourself about Drake.
Not even so far gone.
What is it?
Educate yourself about Drake before you try to debate me again. That goes out.
I don't know for sure. I don't know if Comeback is the first album, Comeback Season is the first
It's not an
mixtape?
album.
Nah.
No,
I don't know if Comeback Season is the first mix.
It's not. It's the second.
Yeah, I forgot the very first mixtape.
It's like
I can't never find it though.
Yeah, no, because Comeback Season is the second, and So Far Gone is the third.
It's okay, Will. Just educate yourself before you try to come to a Don like me.
It's okay. You're a Drake hater, and that's why most times haters have to know a lot about who they're hating on, because they basically. You ever knew somebody that knows so much about you, but they don't like you? Like, why do you know so much about me? You don't like me. Like, it don't make no sense. Like, he's under the disguise of saying, "Oh man, I'm a Drake fan, but I hate Drake." Basically,
That's your opinion.
I don't like nothing Drake do. I got so many criticisms. I never talk in a positive light of Drake. But nah, yeah. So don't let Matt fool y'all, man. Don't let him put a.
That's your opinion.
He waiting for Certified Lover Boy to drop. That's all I got.
I'm definitely waiting for it to drop, and I'm definitely going to listen to it. I'm a judge it on an unbiased opinion.
I don't even know.
I'm gonna say, man, that sounds amazing. And then another thing is, some music is definitely ahead of its time too. Whenever we talking about albums, like even like Yeezus, I ain't gonna lie. I think Yeezus is finally catching up to his time right now. There's a lot of those.
I was just about to say that. I was about to say that was probably going to be like something that people was looking at like, what the hell is this?
Yeah, like it's finally catching up to his time though. Because I remember listening to, like, there was another album. Yeezus was one of the albums that I did not like from Kanye West. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I'm a big Kanye West fan. I've listened to every other fucking album, but Yeezus, I was like, man, I can't do this shit. But I actually understood the work that went into creating Yeezus and what his goal was. That nigga went travel to Europe and he was on that techno shit, that DM, whatever that is, them pulses and all of that shit. But yeah, those he was using all of that, like those sounds and those synthesizers, making it sound like raves and stuff. But you see a lot of people using that in music right now, like meshing it well with the hip hop and stuff. And that's another thing. Like, some albums are ahead of their time, so you might not be able to be receptive to it. Maybe, just maybe, a few years from now, I'm gonna be like, man, that album by Childish Gambino, if I hear it.
Crazy.
I don't know, man. That been like some wine, man. It still ain't ready yet.
Tell that's it.
I'm drinking regardless on everything.
Oh, everything. 808s and Heartbreaks was ahead of the time, though.
Oh, it was, but that was still one of my. That was one of my favorite albums when it dropped.
Yeah, for me too. But I remember when it dropped, a lot of critics gave it a bad score. And they was bad about it.
Hated it.
They hated it. And then, like, over time, ended up getting nominated for Grammys and stuff. Like, that was ahead of his time.
Just wondering, that's the album that, like, Love Lockdown is on?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Tough.
Boom, boom.
That's like my second and third favorite. I think. Oh man,
I'm not loving you.
I got a question for y'all. I got a question for y'all about music. Versus battle. Anybody in the world, dead or alive, could they give a run with Michael Jackson?
R. Kelly.
Yes. What? What did you just say?
This dude did spit.
You made them both touching people?
Oh my goodness!
You said dead or alive. You said music wise. I'm not counting for him being a fucked up human being, but R. Kelly's
No, I think you're talking about them.
R. Kelly's music catalog is very fucking extensive. R. Kelly wrote for Michael Jackson.
I'm just going off straight music. I accept R. Kelly. It kind of caught me off guard.
I'm just saying, like if you were to say, "Oh, I'm gonna put Mike up against R. Kelly," R. Kelly could be like, "Hey, Mike, I wrote that for you. You can't play that shit. That's mine."
R. Kelly can't see Mike though.
That would be one versus I wouldn't even watch.
What?
I'll watch it.
Okay.
It's two different genres. It's definitely different genres. But you cannot say that R. Kelly can't hold his own against him. R. Kelly gave some classic songs. R. Kelly gave a classic gospel album. I remember when my grandma was listening to that thing. I was like, "This is R. Kelly."
And he had that was pre-piss. I mean, that was post-piss too. The
I
gospel
forgot
album was
about
supposed
that
to
gospel album. Yeah, that Joe used to bump.
It did, though, right?
Oh,
Did
snap.
he say
He was over the head with Chocolate Factory. Oh my God! Step in the name of love.
Ooh.
Like,
Okay, you know what?
he
No, we done. We done. No, we can't give this man no more time.
Okay. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's dead.
But
No.
yes, this is just pure musically. There's some other people that I can say would go against Mike. Mike was just larger than life. Like Mike was just that perfectionist, though. Like that's really why I think Mike just solidified himself the way he was. It also, I don't know if Michael Jackson became a star in today's time, if he would be as big as he was back whenever he came out.
Why you think that, though? That's
Why?
interesting. Why do you think that?
I don't think he would be. I don't think he would have the same effect. And the reason why I'm saying that is because look at how much music is being put out now versus whenever he was there. Like whenever he was there, like niggas was putting out albums once every 1, 2, 3 years. Like whenever they dropped the album, like that album was like, hey, we about to go on tour for a few years. We about to hit the US. We about to go Europe. We about to do a world tour. Like they about to let that album marinate. Now the baby, he could drop an album right now. He gonna drop another one. Future can drop 2 albums. Like then you got the world is just so much bigger and things are moving so faster. I feel like people's attention span is not going to stay on one thing as long enough. Like, would he still be a megastar? Probably so. But would he have the same effect that he had in the 80s? Like, where is Mike like Mike? I don't see it just because of how many more stars and just how the world is moving so much faster. Like we our attention span is just so much slower.
I don't think that has a bearing on things because we talk about releasing music. There are artists that release music at a way slower rate. Like the greats are the ones who release it at a very slow rate. Like, and I think that actually builds up like anticipation for a different album. I mean, it just because it's fast paced, that actually may make a Michael Jackson in 2020 album better. Even if he did start like let's say he was born in like the 80s or the 90s. Let's say that. I think he'd still be the star power he is because I mean, there's something about star power. It transcends time, you know.
It does.
So,
and there's also a thing called cancel culture too, though. You know, we get too upset with people too quick. Like it's people like. Even Kevin Hart said it in his newest stand up. Like y'all made being a celebrity not cool no more. It's like y'all made it not even want to. This not fun.
Dog, just to touch on what you said about Mike, that is an interesting take. I never thought about that. Cause when Mike dropped his first album, not his first album, but when he dropped Thriller, which was one of the best albums of all time.
The best selling album, one of the best selling albums of all time.
He want to be starting something. Thriller, Beat It, Billie Jean, Pretty Young Thing. Like that was when Mike left that studio, I really wonder, was the studio on fire? Like, did they have to call the fire department to come put the whole building out, or did they just let it simmer down and burn down to the ground?
I don't know, but I know the motherfuckers. They had to do something.
That album is crazy. But it's like I see your point though, Jalen. It's like when he dropped Thriller, he didn't drop Bad, which was another great album, until 5 years later. He dropped that one in 82, then he came back with Bad in 87. And so I can only imagine like if Mike dropped he dropped in 82, like after that first year or two, people gonna be like, Mike, what the next album at? What album at, Mike? What album at, Mike? All right, Mike, we tired of seeing Billie Jean, Mike. What album at, Mike? Come on, Mike, give us another album. I can definitely see people doing that.
Yeah, he'd be Rihanna. Because you know we be acting. I think it's forgivable though.
And whenever I say Mike wouldn't be Mike, I'm talking about the presence of this nigga having people falling out whenever he just look at him. I'm talking about like that whenever he was just standing there, that nigga was just.
And them girls was, oh Mike. He took his glasses off. Whole left side of the building is passed out. He took.
Literally, they all on the barricades just slumped over because they didn't pass out. They can't get everybody water at the same time because everybody done passed out.
But, and then to the same token, I saw Kanye West do the same shit with Runaway for the fucking whatchamacallit tour where he had the floating stage. And nigga just hit the boom, 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 and niggas started losing their shit. So I guess it's a double-edged
sword. I was waiting on that stage to crush some people. Like I was like, bro, there's no way. Like I was like, bro, that stage gonna fall on somebody, bro.
Nah, nigga, them niggas knew if we gonna put this stage up, this bitch is gonna be secure.
Like, it was a really cool aesthetic thing, but like functionally, it was very trash. Like the viewing angles for it were dumb as shit. Like they were terrible. If you were front row,
he's saying
of that
like you
concert,
couldn't see it, like as
you barely could only see Kanye if he was on the very end. Look at the viewing angle. At it.
I know exactly what angle, but just imagine a floating stage.
Like aesthetically, it's beautiful, but functionally, it's trash. Like, but that's all I'm saying. I'm saying it's beautiful, and it's never been done before.
Hey, if I had front row seats to that concert and I couldn't even see son, best believe I'm still going stupid.
That's still
everything.
That's what I'm saying. I said people they were going crazy. Couldn't see nothing. Going crazy under that stage. They was high off wherever they was high off, drunk or whatever they was, whatever it is, high off life. They were just going crazy under that stage. But they started wilding at one point. They started jumping on top of the stage, hanging from that thing.
Hell yeah, I remember that shit.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Nigga thought they was at a Travis Scott concert.
Oh, Travis Scott be having his fans go crazy.
That nigga stages be crazy too. That nigga take out the roller coasters, the Ferris wheels and shit. That should be hard. COVID came because I definitely was planning on going to Afterworld this year.
Hey, look, this all I gotta say about Travis Scott, bro. That's all I gotta say about Travis Scott. How you get Fortnite to make a skin of you and put it on the game? They had a whole concert of a Fortnite live event for Travis Scott.
Yeah, he's fired. He got his own burger at McDonald's. In the room. Selling Cactus Jackson. You still can't tell me that Jordan ain't go to McDonald's to say Cactus Jackson. You still can't tell me Jordan ain't do it. We're like, hey, yo, fool.
Hey, dude, see this?
All right. Cactus Jackson.
Hey, Joe, you said this is the perfect time to go ahead and close it out.
On everything, bro. Like, cause you tweaking. Hey, but real quick though, do y'all listen to Tierra Whack or no?
Yeah, sometimes. Not. I'm not an avid listener, but I listen to it sometimes.
Bro, real talk. This is real talk, bro. Y'all was just talking about creativity on albums and stuff, and different like things in music. Tierra Whack has an album called Whack World, WHACK World. It came out in 2018. The album is 15 minutes long, and it has 15 songs. Each song is a minute long. Bro, go on YouTube and watch the visual album, and I promise you, it will bless your life, bro.
I seen it on when she first dropped it. I seen it on IG. She was dropping a video a day on IG. And when I first seen it, I was wondering, was that the whole song? Because it was like it was only, like you said, a minute long. I'm thinking like that's the whole song, but that one song will flow right into the next song. It's like she's walking from one room to the next room.
Facts.
I'm gonna have to go listen to this shit.
That mug is crazy for real.
Nice.
For real.
It's nice. She has good visuals. The old boy from Houston too, Toby. He's pretty good too.
Toby
nice. He has some good visuals too. So let me get my best Will in. Let me get my best Will impersonation in. So we at the part of the episode when it's time to reflect. And sometimes people like to reflect on things in life as far as school, jobs, marriage, relationships. But today on I'm Gonna Let You Finish podcast, we're going to reflect on our first episode with a guest. No other than the great Jalen. The great Jalen. So yeah, man, I'm just gonna throw this hot potato and drop it right below me to Jordy G. Just give us some type of reflection, Jordan, on this episode, or any kind of final thoughts that you may feel right now, my brother.
That's crazy. Okay, but anyway, honestly, what Jalen said about being a entrepreneur and a businessman, that really like stuck out to me because I feel like I do have like a hustle mentality, but I feel like I need to implement it on a different level so I can get to that entrepreneurship. You know what I'm saying? And increase my income. So that stuck out to me, bro, and I appreciate you for saying that.
No problem, man. Appreciate y'all for having me, man.
My boy Will.
Hot potato, hot potato, hot potato. I thought I was giving it all.
Oh yeah, I was gonna take it, but you can go ahead and give it. I was gonna take it from Will. I thought Will wanted to go, but go ahead and do you, my bro.
Okay, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato, hot potato. You can have it. You can have it, Matt.
Appreciate it. I
Yeah.
wanted to give Will the last word because you know him and Jalen are best of buds. So I just want to say my final thoughts is, man, one thing that stuck out to me about what Jalen said, because we talked about a lot of stuff about becoming financially free and helping other people out, not doing it for the money, doing it for the love of giving back. Well, for me, I'm just speaking for myself, doing it for the love of giving back and just changing the world and building generational wealth. One thing that I feel like stuck out for me about what Jalen said as far as giving people options on how to get to that generational wealth or to get to a better situation than what they are currently in. And what I'm saying by that is when a lot of time people be like, you can't save your way out of poverty. Like I can't put up $5 of every paycheck and expect me to just make it yada yada yada. And it's a marathon too though. So don't think it's gonna be overnight success. It is a marathon. So don't think it's gonna just happen just like that because it's not. But he gave two options. He said either you have the income in order to invest how you want and do things that you want. But if you don't have the income, you can also find other ways to get other incomes so you can do other things that you want. And I only brought that up because, like I said, I see a lot of time people say, I can't save my way out of this. And people that's talking to them don't give them other options. They just be like, yes, you can, just do it. Yes, you can, just do it. And you be like, you don't know my situation. I'm literally telling you I can't. I'm budgeting everything I can. I'm not spending no extra money. I'm not buying no shoes. I'm not buying no clothes. All I'm literally doing is working and paying bills. And I'm tired. And they be like, we'll just figure it out. But Jalen gave a different input. He was like, on top of that, you can also get another income to help yourself out in order to better your situation moving forward. So that's really something I took away from this whole thing, and I just wanted to stress that again for people that's out there listening that feel like they stuck in a situation where they can't do anything because they feel like they doing all they can, they budgeting the best they can, they couponing, they doing this, they doing that, and they still stuck in the mud. It's more than one way than what people tell you as far as just save your money and you'll make it. Like it's more ways out there to get to where you want to get to, and I just want to stress that point one last time before we closed out.
Who we kicking into next, man?
Yeah, yes sir. We're gonna play the best for last, Jalen.
Well,
drop it to Willoughby.
It's something I thought about, and I guess I never really. Well, I mean, I thought about it a long time ago, but it reopened like a little hole in my mind, I guess. A thought process. We didn't talk about it much, but it was kind of when Jordan was talking about like how your family, they put you in this box of what they knew their family wanted them to do and them before them, because they knew that was the route that Black people gained wealth or got a good job and at least sustained and lived an okay life, like a life that they felt like they could provide for their family and maybe not, and they were still struggling, but that whole, go to high school, go to college, get a job and have kids, have a family. There's so much more that you can do these days. And it's a lot easier as well now. Everything that you could ever want is on the internet. Like I wish I'd have had the internet when I was a kid because I'd have been the most smart, just talk back in as kid. I was like, Mama, that ain't true. Like that ain't true, Mama. Like, and she'd have probably got in my stuff. But basically, like I'm saying that you don't always have to go to college. You don't always have to go the route that your parents want you to go or that your family wants you to go. You can do a new thing. You can switch it up. But this is for my LLC Twitter or fake LLC Twitter, whatever you want to call them. Everybody's not an entrepreneur. Everybody cannot, everybody doesn't want to invest in stocks. Everybody doesn't want to do, everybody doesn't want to own a business. There's ways of getting money that upgrade your personal finance, and pushing people, of course, into being an entrepreneur is not always the best thing to do. But it is always good to have financial literacy, and always keep your financial and your personal finance in check. If you're not owning a business, there's so many ways you can upgrade your income. So yeah, it may take a long time. That's the thing when people are saying that, I don't have two nickels, two pennies to rub together. You may not have that, but slowly. It's not going to be fast. It's a very slow process. So yeah, I do thank my brother Jalen for coming on. I'm gonna pass it to him. See what he learned.
I just want to say once again, thank y'all for having me on, man. I had a great time with you young fellas, with y'all young bulls. And just reflecting up on it, I just want to once again highlight kind of some of the things that y'all just said, like just it's a marathon and not a sprint, and like really just letting people know, even myself, like I'm still learning in this process. I don't have this shit all figured out, but I'm taking it and I'm applying this to myself every day, and I'm seeing the results. And once again, like I said, we may have made 6 figures last year, but all of that wasn't profit. Like we didn't keep all of that. As a business owner, you have expenses and everything like that. Like you have to understand those certain things. So I don't have it all figured out is really what I just wanted to say, but I'm constantly learning and I'm constantly working on myself and I'm constantly growing. And I just would like to challenge everyone who hears this episode just to start taking that approach. Like just ask yourself, how can I be better than what I was yesterday? And I promise you 10 years from down the road, if you just keep that same motto, you'll be a pretty fucking awesome person. And also, I know Matt said he wanted to challenge everybody to listen to 25 new artists. I also want to challenge our people to start reading more. I definitely think y'all should start picking up more books. If picking up a book is not your thing, listen to an audiobook. There's Audible. I love Audible. Like, and my goal this year is for me personally. How many books did I say I'm going to read? Me personally, read 20 books this year. So I just challenge y'all, if y'all listening, read 1 to 2 new books this year.
That's fine. For sure.
I gave myself that challenge for 2020. Not 2020, but 2019. I gave myself that challenge to reading. I wanted to read 3 books that year, and I was able to get that goal. And I bumped it up 2020 to 5, and now I'm trying to get to 8 for 2021. So I like that goal.
Let's go. Yeah, once you start reading, man, reading opens up the doors for what's possible in life. Because once you start to hear this other person start telling you some of these other things, you start to be like, oh man, it's really something more and beyond. And there was a guest that we had on our podcast. She was like, that reading changed her life. She was born in Chicago, and she lived in a pretty rough side, but she's like, reading was her only outlet to escape her true life. So I was just like, damn, that's crazy how reading those books impact your life. So once again, y'all, pick up a book, read, listen to it, whatever you got to do, educate yourself.
Speaking of books, of course, we got my main man, Jalen Clark, on the podcast. We loved him being on here. Of course, we say he's from Black Wealth Renaissance. They're giving so much financial literacy to their community. And speaking of reading, of course, I'm glad he brought that up because they have a book and it's called Manage Your Money Like the 1%. You guys can pick that up at Amazon, correct?
Yeah. And look. I'm going to do this. You can pick it up from Amazon. You can buy it on Kindle. But we also have an ebook. And for your followers, what I'll do is everybody who buy the book, I'll give y'all special links. I give them 30% off.
Okay. See that? That is that's beautiful. That is so beautiful.
And use the code finish. and you'll get the
That's fire.
30% off.
Hey, my main man Jalen, we want to thank you. Tell the people where they can find you at on social media, man.
Oh, well, they can find me on Instagram at I Transcend You, and I will spell that for you. It is I, like the letter I, TRANSCENDU. I'm sorry, YU. So I Transcend You. It's not fully you, but YU. And you can follow me on Twitter, on the Bird app, the tweeter. You can follow me at Hefe Clap. So JEFEKLAP. Hefe Clap, aka the ignorant entrepreneur.
That is what's up.
All right, and what's your Twitch?
I don't have a Twitch.
Okay, my bad. He's not a
You can also
gamer.
follow them on YouTube or subscribe to them on YouTube at Black.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I just did my personal shit. Hold on. Look, follow us. If you really want to learn more about this personal finance and really upgrade your life, look, follow us at Black Wealth Renaissance. That's Black, BLACK, Wealth, WEALTH, Renaissance, RENAISSANCE, Black Wealth Renaissance. Follow
spelling bee.
Huh? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Renaissance is like one of those spelling bee fucking words, man. I don't know what we was thinking. But y'all follow us on Instagram. Y'all should see there's a few people who are actually making fake pages of us right now. So if you look for us on Black Earth Renaissance, we're going to be the largest page. Currently, we're sitting at 415,000 followers. So we'll be around that range. And you can also follow us on Twitter. Twitter is BWR_movement. Once again, that is BWR_movement. And on there, we got about 10,000 followers. And if you like some of the things that you heard me talking about on today's podcast, tap into our podcast. Once again, Black Earth Renaissance. It's on Apple, whatever you want to listen to it on. You can tap in and start listening to it too. Once again, I really appreciate y'all for doing this. I had fun kicking it in with y'all. Anytime y'all want to invite me back, I'm definitely willing to pull up and do this.
What's up. Hefe Clap, the ignorant entrepreneur. He transcends all. Let's go. Well, we want to thank you all for listening. Of course, you can find us on social media at I'm Gonna Let You Finish Podcast on Instagram. And that is, of course, ILYF Podcast on Twitter. As we encourage you all every episode, give us some feedback. If we're doing terrible, if you said the episode boring, if you say you loved it, if you say it helped you out and just made your day, DM us in the DMs. It don't matter on Twitter, on Instagram. Tell us how we doing. This is your.
Also leave them a review too. Make sure y'all do.
Leave a review. Make sure to like us and subscribe on our YouTube as well. I'm gonna let you finish podcast. Leave us a comment. Tell us how we doing. If it's good, if it's bad, if it's in between, it don't matter. Even if you're trying to holler at one of us, it don't matter. Well, he said no. He's going. He gonna end up dead. A double tap. If you know what the double tap is, you've been listening to us a good little while. So yes, my name is Will So Dope, of course. And I'm checking out.
Balls bigger than Snoopy. Jordy G.
Showtime out, man. I ain't got nothing to say after that.
I'm out. Peace. See you later.
And we